Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. This is Rochelle Leedsmith, and I'm from Stamping Flair. I'm going to be sharing with you the spotlight technique in my card creation series. This is card 3 for our Mixed Media Florals for March. So we have one more card to go in this series um, for March, and next month we are using the textured notes bundle. So with the card creation series, you get a kit. You can there are 3 ways you can order, I should say. So you can either get the PDF tutorial, which I send out at the end of the month. If you place an order, say now, of $100 with me anywhere in Australia, you can get next month's kit, so up to the 15th of the month. So I have to close off the orders early so you can get the kits in time. So orders close for the 15th for this month, and then you get the April kit. So if you ordered in February, you would have got March's kit for the mixed media. Now you can still purchase the mixed media florals kit. It's $45. The postage is included. The postage is nearly $12 tracked Australia wide, and it includes all the die cut pieces, anything that can be included which doesn't need stamping first, or the cardstock for you to stamp with, then your designer series paper and embellishments so you can craft. And the tutorial is there as well for you. So all the links are below so you can join in the fun. So today it's a fairly clean card in the sense there's not too many layers. I love adding lots of layers, but today I've kept it to technique. And to start off with, we're going to use the 2 rectangles which you will get in your kit. One cut out of a highline header and a smaller one, which is going to be our spotlight section, and that's out of basic white, and they're both die cut out of the textured notes dies. They're a set of not kind of varying sizes in rectangles. So we're going to be using our Versamark, which is a clear embossing or a clear ink pad which assists with the embossing powder sticking to it. And I'm going to bring in my just a piercing mat just to help with our to get a clear image. Yeah, so because it's photopolymer stamp set and it's not rubber, it's good to have that under, giving you a clear image. Just getting my embossing putty. I'm going to do this in 2 sections. You could do it in one. I find it kind of gives a clear image for me. Now, if you have a stamp positioning tool, it's ideal. I'm trying to do this without so that those, if you don't have one, you can follow along and you can do it. Stamparatus, anything like that, a Misty, if you have, you can do this. But because I'm using 2 colors as well for my embossing, it's kind of a bit different. So we're inking up in Versamark, and we are going to stamp this onto our Highland Heather die cut. Now, when I have to stamp this in a way that the angle is the same. So if you wanted to, you could glue this under just slightly, like tacky glue sort of thing under, and stamp it all at once. I'm doing it in this way. And I'm going to pour some white embossing powder on it. It's forgiving, this, in a way, you can, the way I'm doing it. So this is white embossing powder. So there's many ways you can do the spotlight technique, and this is just one of them. Right, so I'm going to put that back. I'll heat set that so that we can see where to place our other piece. All right. So we've got that one. Now we have to, you can place this wherever you like. You kind of just got to work out where you want it and then stamp in that same direction. You could mark with a pencil if you wanted to. I'm just looking for a pencil just to show you. I don't know what this is. I think this is a pencil. Or is it a pen? I don't know. That may be a pencil, but a little, I can fix that up with a bit of splattering. So let's just put it there. Could just even move it like that. So it will go like that. So it's just giving me an indication where those flowers are gonna sit. Then I know, and then my leaf's gonna come in like that. You know, mark this down, and then I might not see a thing when I do it. So let's do that. Really, we only need that top bit. See, as best as we can. So our leaf kind of went there. And our flower was here, I think. So I think if I get my leaf right, I'm kind of set. I'm kind of eyeballing it here. And I'm just making sure that's nicely covered. You can kind of see that's going to fit like that. If I pull it down like that. Even if I go a bit further, I know it's slightly maybe out, but it's okay. Now, if you stamp it together, you're not going to have that slight, slight out. Uh, because I was doing it in two different embossing powders, it I just preferred it this way. I like that having the black and white contrast just in the embossing powder. I thought, oh, it's just something a bit different, and that's why I did it this way. So I'm just going to make sure that that's all heat embossed. Put this black embossing powder away. Black can get a bit messy sometimes when the powder gets everywhere. All right, so now if you find that it's like quite a bit out, you could add a second layer, right? You could add like a black, just a tiny outer layer, a matte layer under this, and that kind of fixes that just where it's a little bit askew. And normally I do that for my spotlight technique, but I liked the look of how these flowers looked against that frame, so I left it without the matte layer underneath. But you very well could add that. So I'm starting off with a bit of light blackberry bliss on the flowers. Just went with that same tones of purples and things. And sometimes it can be a bit hard to find out where you are, which part of the image it is. Just pop it back and then you'll work it out. It's a little bit easier. We're going to go with some dark dark fresh freesia. And I'm going to go over that blackberry bliss. I'm going to bring in a little bit of the light Pretty in Pink and just drop that down like that on the lighter sections. And then we can go with light fresh freesia to blend it all together. Okay, so just blending that color nicely. All right, so you just do that. And you can bring in some of that detail into that darker. For the leaves, I'm going with Pool Party. Just thought it went, so the tones were nice with the purples. Again, I'm going with dark here. Dark. Then a bit of light. Pool Party, bring that in. Sometimes instead of a green, it's nice to have the different color, a different color, like the light blue. Lost Lagoon works nicely as a leafy color. I think there's a leaf behind there, so I'm just creating a leaf there. Going with this is light, Pretty in Pink. And bring in my dark Pretty in Pink just to add a bit of highlight in the center. I don't need to spend too much time on this, but I still want some variation in that color. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is bring in my Lemon Lolly just to add some shading on the corners. Now you don't need a lot. Just with a blending brush. And start off the page, off the piece. And I'm just going to bring in a little bit there as well. And basically you're spotlighting this, so you want to add make it a bit something nice to look at. So I'm bringing in some splatters in on that. And then on this, I just added a little bit of the continuation with the splatters. So now we've got our spotlight done. We'll work on a sentiment. I've just picked the Hello from the Simply Said stamp set and stamping it in Gorgeous Grape. Now, when you see something, I went with the circular because this was rectangle. So instead of a long sentiment, I wanted a different shape. So trying to get an oval or something so it balances the design a bit not well. So my card there's a lot of white and I just wanted that simple sort of clean look. So I'm layering this on a piece of basic white with just a very small border around it. Just going to trim that down. I'll just pull that out because it was not quite centered. And just it's a very narrow sort of border. And I don't really need a lot because it's going on white. And so I could have done it a little bit wider. But that's good. But it works. Make it work. So now, then this piece you will get embossed, or you would have already got embossed. And if you are ordering a kit, it's well worth it. You're going to get everything done, the embossing done. I do provide, like, if the die cuts don't involve any stamping, I will provide all that for you. Anything that's not in the bundle or anything like that, you get any shapes. You will get this piece for stamping a sentiment. All that is included. So wherever you are in Australia, you can order that, and I will get that to you. So there's that link is below. And now for this, I'm going to put dimensionals. You can put your foam adhesive as well. I run out. I sometimes forget to use that actually, but I've actually run out of that. Because that's a bit easier to, when you've just got bigger pieces, you don't have to put as much. I used a lot when I was on creating swaps for my on stage event, and that's where that all went. So we'll center that. Okay. Now for this, because of the heat embossing, it kind of warps or turns a bit. So to stabilize that, what I did, and this is just some scrap, so I wasn't using it. So I'm going to cut this apart and just use that as a base for my behind my sentiment, and then I will add dimensionals on top. So I can cut it a bit smaller, so I don't need the whole thing. I'm just gonna glue that on, and it just stabilizes it a bit. Then it makes it sit straight then. Cut that off. Trim that down. So you just want it a little bit shorter. Now I'll add my dimensionals. Otherwise you'll find that when you add a dimensional, sometimes it's curving on the edges. And then just to make sure, I'm just putting it in between on that join. Now we're just going to kind of play a bit of a jigsaw, make sure it works where we have. As I said, definitely easier with the stamp positioning tool, but it's done wherever you stamp it, you can fit it, right? It doesn't matter. Kind of works well. I found it. And this is a cute little image to do it on, because if you don't want to do the whole stamp coloring of the whole image, it sometimes takes a bit of time. Definitely nice to spotlight it. Thought I hadn't done much in the purples lately, so thought it would be nice to do one in purple. So we've got our hello there, and just put that in the corner. Oh, no, we won't. We still have to do our, forgot about that. I'm going to pull that off because I think it's a bit easier. Oh, we'll go with it. You, initially, I did it first. I added the ribbon first. But now that I've stuck my dimensionals, let's see. I might still take it out. It's a bit easier. We'll add double-sided tape. And you need a couple of, maybe need a couple of pieces because it helps when you're just 2 small pieces. They go in the direction of the hello. And it should stick. And then we'll stick the other one under. Now, I've got a piece of ribbon which you will get in a kit, and we'll just stick that down. So just by having that 2 pieces of tear and tape, it's got the 2 pieces of ribbon can stick there. Then we'll add our dimensional. I'm going to add a bit of glue because we pulled that off before, just to ensure it sticks. I'm going to trim that down a bit. I think it's a bit too much. And then stick it down there. All right. Now let's put some bling. I didn't put bling on my original card. Let's see. You know what I was doing today? I was cleaning up my bling. And, I tried to clear out any stuff that wasn't meant to be there. But there is a lot that we do have that there's a lot of current bling, which is nice. Get a lot of selection. So you could either go I think that's coastal, or the purple. And I might go, I don't know, let's try. Oh, the coastal's quite nice. Maybe I'll go the coastal. Show a bit of contrast, hey? That looks cute. I like that. And then for the inside, what I'm thinking, we stamp. You could stamp it in Highland Heather, this same image, to save you coloring or anything, and then I'll show you a little thing which we could do. Just ink the whole thing up. You don't need it all, but it's better to have it there than miss something. And then just do something like that. I'll bring in my envelope and I'm doing the same thing. So we have a nice, and I'm using Highland Heather there. Now with the envelope, we're going to go the other side. So just to bring in a bit of the yellow. Thought that is ink, but I don't think so. Just adds a bit of color there. And that's just the residue I had on my blending brush. Take a bit of the blackberry bliss. Add a bit of splatter, so you get a bit of variation in that color. It's slightly different to your um, Highland Heather and stuff, so gives you a bit of variety there. And that's our card done for card creations number 3. And we've got one more to go for this series. I hope you've liked that. And please leave me a comment if you enjoyed that and if you'll give the spotlight technique, this variation of the spotlight technique a go, where I've shown you something with 2 embossing powders. So you get the variation of the embossing powders as well as the coloring in. So you spotlight that as well. And just something for you to try. And I hope that technique, yeah, you enjoy trying out that technique. So thank you everyone for joining me. I will see you on Friday for the next in this series. Thank you so much. Bye bye.